Have you ever sat alone in a room and felt utterly empty, even though no one had heard you? Have you ever scrolled through your phone just to avoid hearing your own thoughts? What if the thing you're running from isn't loneliness, but the deafening silence inside you that you've never dared to embrace? Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the spiritual truths hidden beneath everyday emotions. Today, we dive into a topic that affects everyone in the modern world but is rarely understood: the difference between being alone and being lonely, and how true solitude might be the very key to peace. Our guide for this journey is the light, beloved Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh, whose teachings on mindfulness and inner stillness have touched millions around the world. And what he shared about solitude may shock you because it goes against everything we've been conditioned to believe. Let's begin with this quote. Solitude is not about the absence of other people. It is the absence of noise, both outer and inner. Think about that for a moment. You can be in a crowd and feel deeply alone, or you can be completely alone and feel perfectly whole. So what creates the difference? The answer lies in what Thich Nhat Hanh called inner silence. Let's go back to the root of the issue. In our society, being alone is often seen as a failure. Why are you eating alone? Don't you have plans this weekend? Are you okay? And these are the kinds of questions people get when they're not constantly surrounded by others. We've been trained to equate value with visibility, happiness with noise, and success with social proof. Thich Nhat Hanh invites us to step away from the crowd, not out of fear or isolation, but out of clarity. He says only when we are truly silent can we hear the voice of our own heart. Let's explore what this really means. Here's a story about a young woman named Claire. She had a busy life, constant notifications, social obligations, a job that demanded her attention 24/7, and she felt deeply anxious. He began meditating, but every time she sat down in silence, her thoughts screamed louder, so she gave up. And she read these words by Thich Nhat Hanh: "Silence is not empty. It is full of answers." She decided to try again, but this time, out as an escape. She treated it like an encounter. She turned off her devices, lit a candle, set time, and waited. The first 10 minutes were agony. Her mind raced. Memories, fears, regrets, insecurities all shouted for attention, but she kept breathing. Hut. After 30 minutes, something shifted. Her mind became quiet, not empty, but spacious, like a lake after the storm. She cried, not out of sadness, but out of relief. For the first time in years, she met herself. That is solitude. It's not loneliness, it's reunion. Thich Nhat Hanh teaches us that solitude is a state of mind, not a location. It's not about moving to the mountains. It's about being at home in your own presence. And that's not easy. Because to truly be alone, you must face the parts of yourself that you've ignored through distraction. He said many people are afraid of being alone because they have never learned to be with themselves. This fear leads to constant noise, social media, music, shopping, even positive things like exercise or work can become escapes. But silence strips away masks, and that's terrifying. Yet it's also freeing. Because in silence, you see clearly. You see that your anger is just pain that wasn't listened to. You see that your fear is just love that's been wounded. You see that your craving is just a longing to be whole again. And most importantly, you see that you don't need to chase anything outside to be at peace. Peace is already here, beneath the noise. Let's go deeper. Thich Nhat Hanh introduced the practice of noble silence at his retreats. During certain hours, or even days, no one would speak, not out of coldness, but out of reverence. This wasn't a punishment. It was a sacred space, a chance to return to what he called the highland within. During these silences, people reported astonishing changes. Old wounds surfaced and healed, insights arose, creativity flourished, even physical ailments softened. Because silence is not passive, is active. It's a healer. In silence, your nervous system resets, where breath slows, where mind organizes itself, where heart reveals its truths. And yet, most people flee it. Let's explore why. Loneliness is the pain of being disconnected, but solitude is the joy of being connected to yourself, to nature, to the present moment. Loneliness says, I need someone. Solitude says, I am enough. Loneliness feels like exile. Solitude feels like homecoming. But to reach solitude, you must pass through the valley of discomfort. You must face the shadows. That's why Thich Nhat Hanh says we are afraid of silence because it brings us face to face with the truth. But truth is not your enemy. It is your freedom. Let's bring this into the modern world. You don't need a retreat to find solitude. You need a moment. Turn off your phone for 30 minutes. Sit outside and just breathe. Eat one meal without media. Walk without headphones. Light a candle and watch the flame. These are not grand gestures, but they are sacred ones. And over time, they build your sanctuary. Because solitude is not a one-time act, it's a habit, muscle, place you can return to again and again. You might ask, but what if I feel overwhelmed when I'm alone? That's okay. Editorize. Instead of fighting the loneliness, breathe into it. It's SEU, or welcome air. And then keep breathing. Over time, that loneliness will dissolve into something richer, stillness, spaciousness, clarity. And then you'll understand what Thich Nhat Hanh meant when he said, when you are truly at peace with yourself, you enjoy being alone because you are never lonely. Let's close with a reflection. If you're constantly chasing others, you'll never catch yourself. If you're always talking, you'll never hear the quiet voice of truth. If you're always performing, you'll forget who you are beneath the mask. So pause. Be still. Let silence teach you. Thank you for watching this video. If you've ever experienced the healing power of solitude, we'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments. And if this video brought you peace, subscribe for more teachings that lead you back home to yourself.